Hello, dear viewers. Today, we are embarking on a deeper journey into Buddhism, a profound philosophy and a rich way of life embraced by hundreds of millions of people worldwide. Originating in northern India approximately 2,500 years ago, this wise teaching has not only deeply influenced the Asian continent, but continues to illuminate the path to peace, compassion, inner tranquility, and enlightenment across the globe. In this extended video, we will examine the foundational principles of Buddhism more closely and strive to understand the depth of this impressive philosophy. If you are ready, let's step together into the fascinating world of Buddhism. Part 1. The life of Siddhartha Gautama and the depths of the Buddha's enlightenment. The life story of Siddhartha Gautama, the founder of Buddhism, is more than just the biography of a religious figure. It is a powerful symbol of humanity's universal quest and potential. Born in Lumbini, in what is now Nepal, around the 6th century BCE, Siddhartha was the son of King Suddhodana, leader of the Sakya clan, and his birth was marked by extraordinary prophecies. Sages foretold that he would either become a great king or a world-renouncing spiritual leader. His father, seeking to shield his son from the suffering and realities of the outside world, raised him in a luxurious and sheltered palace environment. However, fate intervened, and during his excursions outside the palace walls, Siddhartha encountered the fundamental sufferings of human existence: old age, sickness, and death. These impactful encounters ignited a deep questioning and a search for meaning within him. Rejecting all the pleasures and comforts offered by his palace life, Prince Siddhartha, at the age of approximately 29, left his family, noble title, and privileged existence to seek truth. He intensely practiced various meditation techniques and ascetic disciplines under the guidance of renowned spiritual teachers of the time. However, he realized that these extreme self-denial methods did not lead him to the ultimate enlightenment he sought. Eventually, Siddhartha decided to adopt a balanced approach, known as the middle way, which avoided both extreme indulgence and extreme self-mortification. Finally, near Gaya, he sat in deep meditation under a fig tree, the Bodhi tree. During this intense period of mental focus, which lasted for days and nights, Siddhartha experienced the fundamental truths of existence and the nature of suffering in all their clarity. At the culmination of this profound contemplation, Siddhartha broke free from all chains of ignorance and attained ultimate enlightenment, or Bodhi. He was now known as the Buddha, the Awakened One. This historic moment not only marked the pinnacle of Siddhartha's personal quest, but also the beginning of the teachings of Buddhism, which would profoundly influence the entire world. For the next 45 years, the Buddha traveled throughout various regions of India, sharing his experiences and teachings with people, gaining countless followers, and establishing the first Buddhist monastic community, the Sangha. Part 2. In-depth analysis of the Four Noble Truths. At the heart of the fundamental philosophy revealed by the Buddha's enlightenment lie the Four Noble Truths, Shatvari Arya Satya. These profound and universal truths systematically explain the fundamental nature of human existence and the possible path to liberation from suffering. 1. Dukkha, the truth of suffering. The first noble truth, dukkha, while often translated as suffering, encompasses a much broader range of experiences, including unsatisfactoriness, unease, unhappiness, stress, anxiety, and existential anguish. According to the Buddha, not only physical pain but also the emotional and mental discomfort arising from our attachment to and expectations of things that are impermanent are part of dukkha. The inevitable events we encounter in the natural flow of life, such as loss, disappointment, change, and ultimately death, are unavoidable aspects of this fundamental state of unsatisfactoriness. The Buddha not only identifies dukkha as a phenomenon but emphasizes it as a fundamental characteristic of human existence. 2. Samudaya, the truth of the origin of suffering. The second noble truth, Samudaya, investigates the root cause and origin of this universal suffering. According to the Buddha, the primary cause is tanha, which refers to craving, desire, thirst, and attachment. This includes not only the desire for material objects or physical pleasures but also the craving for a sense of self, the desire for permanence, and the wish to avoid unpleasant experiences. This endless chain of desires leads to continuous dissatisfaction and thus perpetuates suffering. Closely related to the law of karma, this craving is also the fundamental reason for new births and the continuation of the cycle of suffering. 3. Nirodha, the truth of the cessation of suffering. The third noble truth, Nirodha, offers hope and the possibility that suffering and its origin, craving, can be completely eliminated. This ultimate state of liberation is called Nirvana. Nirvana is not merely a state of non-existence or nothingness. Rather, it is a state of absolute peace, wisdom, and freedom, liberated from all craving, hatred, and delusion. This is the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice. Reaching nirvana signifies permanent liberation from the cycle of rebirth, samsara. 4. Magga, the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering. The fourth and final noble truth, Magga, describes the practical path that leads to the end of suffering and the attainment of nirvana. The Eightfold Path, Ashtanga Marga. This path is a comprehensive guide for living, based on ethical conduct, mental discipline, and the development of wisdom. Part 3. In-depth examination of the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path, the practical guide to reaching nirvana and liberation from suffering, lies at the heart of Buddhist teaching. These 8 principles form a mutually supportive and integral whole, aiming at the individual's mental, ethical, and spiritual development. Wisdom, prajna, refers to the ability to understand truth correctly and develop right thought. Right understanding, samadhi, comprehending the 4 noble truths, the law of karma, the cycle of rebirth, and the impermanent nature of existence deeply. It involves seeing the world as it is, free from illusions. Right thought, samasankappa, cultivating thoughts of loving kindness, compassion, peace, and constructiveness, free from selfishness, hatred, and harmful intentions. It aims to train the mind in a positive and healthy direction. Ethical conduct, sila, involves living ethically and honestly, refraining from harming others, and contributing positively to society. Right speech, samavaka, abstaining from lying, gossip, slander, harsh, hurtful, and meaningless talk. It encourages speaking truthfully, kindly, constructively, at the right time, and for the right purpose. Right action, samakamanta, refraining from violence, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and any actions that cause harm to others. It aims to cultivate peaceful, honest, generous, and helpful behavior. Right livelihood, samajiva, earning a living in a way that does not harm oneself or others and aligns with ethical principles. For example, avoiding professions that involve the killing of living beings, the trade of weapons, or the production of intoxicants. Mental discipline, samadhi, aims to train the mind to develop focus, awareness, and deep inner peace. Right effort, samavayama, consciously striving to prevent unwholesome mental states from arising, to eliminate existing unwholesome states, and to cultivate and maintain wholesome mental states. It involves directing mental energy in the right direction. Right mindfulness, samasati, observing the present moment as it is, without judgment, simply being aware. It involves continuous awareness of the body, feelings, thoughts, mental states, and external objects, helping to anchor the mind in the present. Right concentration, samasamadhi, focusing the mind deeply on a single object, leading to various levels of meditative absorption, jhana. This reduces mental distraction, allows for the experience of inner stillness and deep peace, and forms a foundation for ultimate wisdom. Part 4. In-depth exploration of core Buddhist concepts. To fully grasp the fundamental philosophy of Buddhism, it is vital to examine central concepts such as karma, reincarnation, and nirvana in greater detail. Karma, literally meaning action. Karma holds a central place in the Buddhist worldview. It is a universal law of cause and effect that encompasses not only physical actions but also words and thoughts. Every conscious action, any thought, word, or deed performed with intention, whether good or bad, creates a potential seed or energy that will inevitably manifest similar consequences in the future. These results may appear immediately in this life or even in subsequent lives. Karma is not a form of fatalism or a system of reward and punishment imposed by an external agent. Rather, It emphasizes that our actions have natural and unavoidable consequences. Actions performed with positive intentions lead to positive results, while those driven by negative intentions lead to suffering. Therefore, engaging in conscious and ethical actions is crucial for shaping a positive future. Reincarnation, rebirth according to Buddhism, death is not the end of existence. While the physical body ceases to function, the stream of consciousness, influenced by the accumulated karma, is reborn in a new life form. This continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth is called samsara and is characterized by suffering, unsatisfactoriness, and impermanence. The nature of rebirth, in which realm, under what conditions, depends on the accumulated karma from previous life or lives. The ultimate aim is to break free from this painful cycle and attain nirvana. The Buddhist concept of rebirth differs from the Hindu concept of the transmigration of a permanent soul, Atman. In Buddhism, what is reborn is the ever-changing and conditioned stream of consciousness, not a fixed self or soul. This principle of no self, anatman, is a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy. Nirvana, literally meaning to extinguish or to blow out. Nirvana is the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice and the highest spiritual attainment. It is the state where all craving, hatred, ignorance, delusion, and other negative mental states have been completely extinguished, resulting in a state of unconditioned, eternal peace, freedom, and wisdom. Nirvana is not merely a state of non-existence or annihilation. Rather, it is a transcendence beyond the limited and illusory sense of self, an experience of the deepest nature of reality. This experience cannot be fully described in words, but can be personally realized through intense spiritual practice and inner transformation. Attaining nirvana signifies permanent liberation from the cycle of rebirth, samsara, and the achievement of ultimate freedom. It is the final aim of the Buddhist path and the ultimate fruit of all effort. Part 5. Historical development of Buddhism, different schools, and its impact on the modern world. In the centuries following the Buddha's passing, his teachings spread across Asia through the Silk Road and other trade routes, interacting with and enriching various cultures, leading to the emergence of diverse Buddhist schools and traditions. We previously mentioned the three main branches. Theravada, meaning the school of the elders. This tradition is considered the oldest surviving Buddhist school and is believed to be closest to the original teachings of the Buddha. It took root particularly in Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia. It emphasizes individual liberation and the significant role of the monastic community, Sangha, and the authority of the Pali Canon. Mahayana, known as the Great Vehicle. This tradition aims to make the path to enlightenment accessible to a wider audience. It emphasizes the bodhisattva ideal, an individual who strives for the enlightenment of all sentient beings, not just their own. It spread widely in East Asia, China, Japan, Korea, and Vietnam, and encompasses various influential subschools such as Zen, Pure Land Buddhism, and Nichiren Buddhism. Mahayana philosophy centers on profound concepts like emptiness, sunyata, and the interconnectedness of all phenomena. Vajrayana, also known as the Diamond Vehicle or Tantric Buddhism. This tradition emerged in India as an extension of Mahayana and became particularly influential in regions like Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, and Mongolia. Aiming for rapid enlightenment, Vajrayana utilizes complex rituals, mantras, mandalas, yoga, and visualization techniques. The figure of the guru, spiritual teacher, holds great importance in this tradition. Throughout history, Buddhism spread across Asia via the Silk Road and other trade routes, enriching itself through interactions with each culture it encountered. Local beliefs were integrated, and new interpretations and practices arose. For example, in China, interaction with Confucianism and Taoism led to the development of Zen Buddhism, while in Japan, its interaction with Shintoism gave rise to distinct Buddhist art and philosophical movements. In the modern world, Buddhism is increasingly gaining interest in the West for various reasons. Its compatibility with rational and scientific approaches, the scientifically proven positive effects of meditation and mindfulness practices on stress reduction and mental well-being, Buddhism's emphasis on universal values such as nonviolence, compassion, and environmental awareness, and the profound philosophical insights it offers in response to modern humanity's search for meaning. In the West, Buddhism is studied in academic circles and finds practical application at individual and societal levels. Meditation centers, Buddhist temples, and spiritual communities are spreading worldwide. Buddhist principles are influencing various fields such as psychotherapy, education, art, literature, and even business. The concept of mindfulness, in particular, has gained popularity as an effective tool against the stress and attention deficit of modern life. At its core, Buddhism is a path of self-discovery and transformation. It believes in the inherent potential within every individual to awaken and achieve enlightenment. This journey requires patience, perseverance, ethical conduct, and continuous mindfulness. The teachings of the Buddha, beyond being a theoretical philosophy, offer practical steps and applicable methods to guide individuals towards a more peaceful, meaningful, and wise life. Throughout its millennia-long history, Buddhism has touched the lives of countless individuals, encouraging them on the path to enlightenment and spreading messages of peace, compassion, and wisdom throughout the world. Although it has taken different forms in different geographies, its core teachings of the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path remain timeless and universally relevant. In the modern world, Buddhism continues to inspire individuals to find inner peace, adhere to ethical values, and live more mindfully. We hope this long and in-depth journey has helped convey some of the richness and depth of Buddhism. We look forward to meeting you again in our next video as we explore different fascinating spiritual and philosophical topics. May you be filled with peace and tranquility.